Beautiful look at the half pipe here in Aspen. Buttermilk Mountain the side as we kick off the first stop on the Snow League, and we are ready now for the men's last chance qualifier. Spelled just like it sounds, and it tells you just what you need to know. This is your last chance to qualify for tomorrow's knockout phase, and that is the quarterfinal round. So now we've got 8 athletes, 8 world-class athletes, T-Bird, all trying to get 4 tickets. This is like a game of musical chairs. We've got 8 athletes, but we only got 4 chairs in the quarterfinals, and when the music stops, only the top 4 scores are moving on.
Absolutely, and those top 4 scores are going to be seeded 5, 6, 7, 8 tomorrow, so it will dictate who they're going to be up head-to-head against. That was a frontside 1440 into a backside 540.
A casual frontside 1440.
And then a frontside double cork 1260 from Li Jiao. Into the cab double 10. And a double crippler.
That is nice.
Yeah, if that's
tasty.
Any indication of how this last chance qualifier is going to go, you are in for quite the treat.
You know, I want to talk about the pipe if we can just momentarily while we wait for that score to drop. Diesel's been reported about the conditions and the deterioration on the right side as we look up the pipe, but now the sun is on both sides of the wall, so it is almost even playing field as far as baking it.
Yeah, and it bakes really, really fast. There's the front side double cork 1260.
This was on point. I mean, I think if he'd have done this in the heats, he probably is either winning or, yeah, he might have been winning that heat.
Yeah, 100%. And I do feel like the men have a little bit of an advantage here, right? The women stopped riding this morning, and then the pipe really changed conditions. Yep. So there was a good 3.5 hours where they had to wait for their last chance qualifier. We just called the men about an hour and 10 minutes ago. So they're kind of still in that headspace, bringing that energy. Where is the bar going to be set?
69.75 for Lee of South Korea. Remember, he came out of qualifying heat number 1 alongside Chase Blackwell. They finished 2nd and 3rd respectively. And that one was won by, no surprise, Ruka Hirano. So he is safely back at the hotel with his feet up, relaxing, watching this on Peacock and saying, you know what, I can handle any of these guys. You brought up a good point. To get in the LCQ, it's great, and you move on, and you get to fight another day.
Yep.
But if you finish 6, 7, 8, you're looking at the likes of Ruka Hirano, Ayuma Hirano in that first round.
You're going up against the 1, 2, 3 seed.
Big heavy hitters. Chase Blackwell now.
That was a huge switch backside double cork 1080. And there is a gigantic frontside double cork 1080. Chase was one of my favorite riders to watch in his heat because his back was against the wall.
Yes,
he was in dead last, and he put down the run just like he did there when the time was right, and he bumped up into the last chance qualifier. He saved himself, gave himself new life with the hopes of riding tomorrow.
What is it with these Colorado riders? They just know how to work a pipe, and Chase Blackwell did it there on that one. Again, 69.75 as Lee put up the highest score. And Connor, take a look at this. Are you seeing the level of riding actually go up? I mean, now these guys are tired. The pipe's not as good as it was this morning, but it looks like these guys are bumping it up a bit.
Oh, 100%. They're going absolutely massive. And I just heard a conversation from the judges about setting that range with that first run around to 70 and feeling comfortable with the fact that they've got space above to slot riders in. And with Chase's amplitude right there, I'm thinking he may be one that goes above.
Hey, Connor, how are the judges? What's the conversation in the judging booth about the changing conditions of the half pipe?
They know that the conditions are changing, so they're really rewarding riders who are able to get that amplitude through the tough conditions.
It's a common denominator, though. Everyone's dealing with the same half pipe. The conditions don't change that much. And a nice score for Chase Blackwell, an 83. And what that does is that puts Chase Blackwell firmly, T-Bird, in the conversation, because even if he comes back on his second run, doesn't do well, I have a feeling the 83 might be a top 4 score.
I think so too. That's going to be a really good score in the grand scheme of things. As we head back to the top, we're looking at Shuichiro Shigeno from Kawasaki, Japan, 19 years old, wearing jersey number 6. Cool thing about these jerseys, they keep that number all season. I think that's so dope.
I just wonder if they're going to hold on to these same jerseys, and you're responsible for this jersey in 8 months when we're in Secret Garden. You better have it with you, or they have a backup.
Don't lose it at the dry cleaner.
Don't lose it. Don't leave it at TSA.
Frontside double cork 14 into the cab, double cork 10.
Oh, look at this.
And frontside double cork 12 into a backside 9. These are combos that a couple years ago just did not seem comprehensible. The level of progression in half pipe is just ridiculous at the moment.
You know, you think back about 8-9 years ago when Louis Vito was really dominating the Dew Tour, and I want to ask him, what was your routine like? What was the run like that was winning Dew Tours? It was nothing like that.
No, it was nothing like that. And like I said earlier, 9s and 10s have become 12s and 14s.
1440 Indies. Back in the day at Stratton, at the 1992 U.S. Open, I don't think anyone was doing a 900. I think it was 720s.
And what's really funny about this is you see Danny Cass at the top of the pipe, right? He's one of the coaches for the U.S. team. He must be sitting there being like, never in a million years did I think it would hit this.
And here comes the score for Shigeno. It's going to be a 78.50. So he's in second place. That's a good score. I got a feeling, and we can talk to Connor on this. Connor, if you get a chance, what do you think the cut line is going to be? Think of it like golf. What's the score that's going to get you, do you think, in the top 4?
I think that it's going to be right around that 80, like you were saying. Anything above that 80 is going to be really tough to top, and right around where Shuichiro was right there on that run is probably going to be right around that fourth place.
So it's Lucas Foster's turn now for his first run of 2. Dropping in here, carrying a lot of speed, finding the speed on the snow that has really gotten soft.
Yeah, and this kid is just so explosive. Frontside 1260 going down in what we've kind of been referring to as the slop, right? That snow is really accumulating. You see it spray up on that frontside wall. It's getting really slushy toward the flat bottom on that looker's right wall.
And look how rough it is on the right-hand side at the very base when they're making that transition. Let's check in on the pipe doctor. Diesel, what do you know?
Hey guys, this is Chris here. I just got an update from the pipe cutter, Frank Wells. And he was telling me his plan to manage the half pipe tomorrow. So they're going to be doing a whole hand rake to keep this pristine, and then they're going to be throwing salt on the lower thirds of the wall, and that's going to take that slush and lock it up and turn it into ice. So this thing's going to firm up and be riding fast for tomorrow. Frank's got a lot of confidence in the half pipe.
Well, T-Bird got an A in chemistry. So T-Bird, tell the people at home what that salt does. People are like, well, that melts snow. Why would you throw salt on it?
Yeah, what it does, it actually firms up that top layer of snow. So once you give it a nice, good groom, you lock that groom in with a thin layer of salt.
Frank Wells.
I'll tell you, that Frank Wells, if you could give out Michelin stars for half pipes, you'd have 3 of them.
Goodness sakes. Yamato with a hard fall there. And T-Bird, you're going to have to go back and look at this one because he came off that wall in just a really awkward fashion. It did not end well.
That was his switch backside wall, and it looked like something didn't line up as soon as he left the lip. Luckily, he's okay, but again, goes to this air awareness. A big part of being a snowboarder at this elite level is knowing when to pull the ripcord and save your body. Don't commit to it. If it's not feeling right, watch him right here. He kind of opens up, a little bit of an arm flail, and right now he's thinking, just land on your feet. Don't land on your back.
And he got the board under there, took a little bit of the impact. You know, one of the great quotes of all time in all snowboarding comes from one of my favorite movies, The Art of Flight, and the wisdom of Travis Rice. You're going to take a beating. I remember when he said that, and I remember like, don't say that. He goes, yeah, you're going to take a beating.
Absolutely.
To progress the sport, go backcountry and go as big as like the Mark McMorrises and the Travis Rices do, you're going to take a beating to get it right.
All of these athletes here have had that reckoning years and years ago. And they said, you know what? I want to take it to the next level. I've accepted the risk. Here we go.
All right, here we go with Lee now. Chaeun Lee out of Korea. Out of qualifying heat number 2. A little bit of a surprise that he didn't win that, but the rumors are true that he's battling some injury right here. Not quite sure. I'm sure Diesel can get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, and we also heard that for a lot of the Japanese riders and the South Korean riders are battling a little bit of jet lag. And this is a long day coming through the last chance qualifiers. But you wouldn't know it from that run. That was pretty impressive. Good amplitude, big time trick difficulty, and a wide variety. I mean, that says it all right there.
Yep.
They're getting tired, you know?
Just to give you an idea of what the time change is, right now in Tokyo, it's 7:09 in the morning.
Okay.
On Saturday.
But there, look at that front side double cork 1440. Grab and tail. Right there, latching on. And again, if that goes wrong, the trick is done.
Yep.
Everything has to be done in sequential order and go perfectly, basically, to put together the run that they want.
He's got a lot of numbers.
Frontside double cork 1080. It's like being a math major calling a half-pipe event these days.
Got to have an abacus on the ready. Some of these shots we're getting are just amazing. The clarity, the definition. Big shout out for the drone flight pilots. He's feeling it. He's in the club.
Okay, he's in top 4.
Okay, 73.50. So right now it is Lee and Lee holding down 3 and 4. 73.50, 69.75 right now is the cut list with 2 more athletes to take their first run.
And these were 2 men who rode the best in their heats. Ryan Walkendorfer up first, going switch backside 900.
And if he could duplicate that first run in the qualifying when he laid down that silky smooth 80.
He just seems to turn it on.
Announcer
Unfortunately,
jinx. My apologies, Ryan.
Here's what's interesting, right, is for the entire day so far, there's been a direct shadow line up the middle of that pipe with the left wall in the shade and the right wall in the sun. The right wall, or the looker's left wall, is now in the sun, and you can see it starting to melt out. Run by run by run.
And I think you bring up a good point, because to Chris's report, Frank Wells, who will cut this pipe again tonight and get it ready, they're already planning ahead. They know what they're going to expect tomorrow. And the weather tomorrow is supposed to be even nicer than today, more sunshine. So they're going to try to mitigate the destruction that these boards do to this, as Ryan Walkendorfer now will look to run number 2, the young man out of Frisco, Colorado. He's going to have to let it all hang out on his second and final run, as that 22.50 will do him no good. Campbell Melville Ives.
This kid's my story of the day.
It's impressive.
He blew my mind in his heat. Just out of nowhere, stepped up, showed the world exactly what he can do. This kid is going to be a star.
He had Ayumu Hirano backed into a corner. Man, look at this.
Front side, double cork 1440 into the cab, double cork 1080. I think this is going to be a 12. Indeed it is. Frontside double cork 1260. Oh, and that wall
that would have been the last
another victim.
Look at that. Okay, hold it there if we can for just a second. If we can get that shot again, Lyle, you want to look at that right-hand side. It is just chiseled out.
Yeah,
you can see all the lines, the cut lines, the carved lines, and then the left side still looks like some freshly buffed marble.
But just you wait until tomorrow. Once you get that Frank Wells hand cut, this thing is going to be looking crispy. But again, you know, going back to the heats, as these riders that are in the last chance qualifier were originally riding in, we did say this. We said, hey, if you can automatically qualify for tomorrow,
do yourself a solid.
Go home, get some rest, hot tub, cold plunge, whatever it is, because this pipe is going to deteriorate.
It is a level playing field, however. Everyone's having to deal with it. Look at all that chatter as they come into there.
You just saw the nose of his board slapping into the wall.
That makes a hard job even harder. Just didn't get that last bit of rotation around.
I think the chatter took away just enough speed to affect his amplitude, not giving him enough time to get that trick around.
Okay, so that's 8 up, 8 down. Those are the 8 men that made it to the last chance qualifier. And as we take a look at these standings, it is Chase Blackwell throwing down a tasty 83, and look at the room he's got. You've got a 78.50 in second, a 73.50, all the way down to a 69.75.
Yeah.
So to our point in talking with Connor, 83 has got to be above the cut line.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I'm Chase Blackwell, I'm feeling good right now. But look at that wall. That thing has taken a beating today.
My new Aussie Lyle will get us a good shot of that. There it is. Look at all that slop in the corner. I mean, that's like if you're racing NASCAR and the part of the wheels start wearing off, it goes into the rubber. They call it the marbles.
Yep.
That's what they're going through. And so look at the chunks taken out of there. That's a great shot. Look at that.
Oof. But yeah, this thing is going to be crispy.
Okay, Frank Wells, we just need your pipe to hold up for 8 more runs. Who will be the top 4? It's a game of musical chairs here at Snow League, and this is last chance qualifier, final runs of the day. Final 8 runs. 4 of these men are moving on to the quarterfinals tomorrow.
And right now, Li Jiao is sitting in the 4th place spot, which would make him the 8th seed for tomorrow. He's got a first run score of 69.75. If I'm him, I want to pad that by at least 5 or 6 points. Get up into that 2 or 3 spot to really feel comfortable.
Well, you start looking at the guys that are below you, and of course, Campbell Melville Ives can do better than 69, and there's a fall. So now he is in the proverbial hot seat. He has to sit and wait and watch the rest of the field come through and take shots at his 69.75.
You know what, though? Kudos to him.
Yes.
He put it on the line, did not take the safe run. If he was gonna pad that score, if he had pumped the brakes on that, he wouldn't have improved his score. He would have stayed in 4th anyway. So here, I believe, is where it went wrong. Little trouble with that grab. There's that second dip. And as he comes around, he's gonna be landing switch. He just washed out a little bit on the heels. Some of that is board stiffness. Some of that is fatigue in the legs. Some of that is condition of the looker's left wall. You can see him looking at his board. He's like, what happened? What went on?
So a 33.5 is not going to help his cause, but he will sit on a 69.75, safe for now, but very precariously perched in position number 4. Only 4 of these athletes are moving on to tomorrow's quarterfinals in the knockout round where the madness really begins. We move on now. Chase Blackwell, he is the current leader of the LCQ, which means he would go in as the number 5 seed, sitting on an 83. I say do yourself a solid and go for it.
I think so too. He's got a 4.5 point lead. Can't hurt to try to make that 6 or 7. Again,
all good.
Announcer curse. You know,
no, I think it was a good call on his part. I mean, why back off and take it easy and then see a couple guys go ahead of you and bump you down? So he's got a great score. I think all these guys are tired. Their legs are tired. That we've already talked about the pipe. I'd say 90% chance he's going to make it in, but there is that chance. So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, absolutely. You're saying there's a chance, and where there's a will, there's a way. But I do believe some pretty crazy things would have to happen for Chase Blackwell not to be, I won't say in the number 1 seed, but in the top 4.
Yeah. So that 11 becomes a throwaway for him. We give you an idea of what's happening now. So we've got Lee, Blackwell, they are done. That means there's 6 more athletes to go. And once we get to that 4th athlete to drop, we can now say you are locked in. Chase Blackwell, you are locked in because there's only 3 more guys to go. They cannot go higher than you. They could go higher than you, but you will only bop down to the 4th, which would be the 8th seed.
And I mean, even though this is our 3rd rider to drop, I'm already looking at the last 2 riders, Ryan Walkendorfer and Campbell Melville Ives, back against the wall. They're going to have one final shot to get up into that top 4.
And speak of Campbell Melville Ives, young man that came all the way from New Zealand. Talk about traveling around the world to get here at 18. He's not going to know any better. He's going to send it to the moon.
Indeed, he is.
Here we go, Shigeno.
Shuichiro Shigeno going front side double cork 1440 into the cab double cork 1080. That's going to be the front side double cork 1260. Into the backside 9.
Ooh,
come
spicy.
on, Shuichiro Shigeno saving the best for last. He knows it. He knows he's got a chance. He's in 2nd place right now with a 78.5. Can he unseat Chase Blackwell and go in tomorrow as that number 5 seed?
I think this is all about seeding right now because even his score, 78.50, I'm not sure that would have been tough as well, but this could go ahead of the 83.
Frontside double cork 1440. It just blows my mind that they are not dizzy when they come down. That's just one wall of an entire run. Unbelievable.
That is the epitome of air awareness.
And that claim right there, that was like someone coming out of a barrel on a WSL event, just fist raised. They know they got something special. It's up to the judges now.
After being locked in the blue room, you pop out and you say that's claiming on that. So does he do better than an 83 or does he pad that 78.50? Oh, yes, he does. 84.50. Shigeno into 1st in the LCQ.
Number 6 is the current 5 seed heading into tomorrow. Incredible showing from Shuichiro Shigeno.
So now it's Lucas Foster's turn as the 4th man to drop here on the final run today. Day number 1 of the Snow League from Aspen. Buttermilk Mountain is the scene and one of the finest half pipes you'll find anywhere in North America.
And it is very rare for Lucas Foster to be sitting on a 14.25. This is where things went wrong for him in run number 1. Let's see if he can hold on. So he mellows it out a bit. Starts with a front side 9. Into the backside 9, fully inverted on those.
It's better than a 69.
And now he's building up, frontside 1080. I assume this is going to be cab, double cork 1080. Will we see it? Alley-oop, double McTwist. We will!
Oh,
And he lands
man.
so flat. Lucas Foster put it all on the line, and it came down to the very last piece of transition on the final hit.
Knees of steel. When he dropped out of the sky and landed completely flat and then just popped up.
Average height of 13 feet. The highest he went is nearly 16 feet, and that might have been on that alley-oop double McTwist. He gave it his all. Hats off to Lucas Foster. Look at that, 15 feet, 9 inches.
Let's just round it to 16.
Call it 16, I'll give it to him, absolutely. There's that front side 1080. So we went 9, 9, 10, 10, and then tried to finish it off with his signature trick. He's the only snowboarder on earth doing it that way. And look at how flat he lands.
It was coming away from the wall right here. And I wonder right now he's going, oh no.
Right here is terrifying.
Oh no.
Fully blind, falling out of the sky, and you don't get a glimpse at where you're gonna land until that last, millisecond of coming around from that alley-oop double McTwist.
Lucas, you're a legend.
Once again,
Love you, Dingo.
Sending out the love.
much love.
Thank you guys.
Love and miss you. Thank
Ah,
What a show.
Foster put on a show coming down to that last hit. So here's the situation. We have got 4 more athletes to go. Yamada, Lee, Walkendorfer, and Melville Ives. And then the LCQ will be set in stone, and the quarterfinals will be ready to roll tomorrow. Yamada now.
And then, these next 3 riders, all of them can make some movement up in that top 4.
There it is.
Yamada nowhere to go but up. He's in dead last right now with a 9.5. A little sketchy there on the transition.
I mean, nowhere to go but up. He's going way up. 14 feet, 4 inches. Look at that McTwist, 12 feet out. There it is, frontside double cork, 1440 to end his run. And look at that, his last hit, 13 feet, 6 inches up into that green color on the amplitude scale. The judges have to love that.
You know, it's a great pipe, and the athletes are still getting 14, 13 feet out of the pipe at the bottom. Normally, that's when they start to slow things down a little bit, don't get as much. Not the case for Team Japan.
Yeah, the amplitude is absolutely incredible. I want to get Connor Manning's take on this. He's in there right now with the judges. Connor, what are you hearing from that run?
I'm hearing a mix between the judges right now. Actually, they are talking about this and Chase's run right now.
Ooh.
Chase a little sketchy on his front 9, the judges are saying, but Shigeno not quite having the technicality with just the McTwist down at the bottom, almost as a setup trick. Great trick, love watching it, but the difficulty on that not quite as high as what Chase was throwing.
Hey, Connor, what's rewarded more, technicality or verticality? I mean, if you go big but not as technical, or is it better to go less amplitude but more technical?
If you go bigger, it adds difficulty to any trick you're doing, so that will bump up almost that technicality as well, but it's got to be much bigger to bump over a very technical run.
Well, speaking of bumping, that's exactly what Yamada just did. He just bumped himself into 2nd place, 83.75. So right now, the Japanese would hold down positions 5 and 6 out of the LCQ.
And that's been how today is. The Japanese riders have been crushing it.
Oh my word. So we now move on to Cheon Lee. 3 more competitors to go, and the 18-year-old from South Korea will start things off.
Frontside double cork 12. Sorry, frontside double cork 14. Into the cab double cork 10. There's the frontside double cork 12, barely holding on. You could literally see the base of his snowboard almost in the flat bottom. And the double crippler, he puts it down. I think we're going to be seeing some shakeups in that top 4 right now.
I hope he's not injured or he just looks gassed.
Yeah, I mean, last run, he was literally just laying down on his back. But the resiliency of these riders.
Lee Cheon now does not appear to be in a happy place right now.
He's currently sitting in 4th place, so for now, safe. But with Campbell, Melville Ives, Ryan Walkendorfer still to drop, they can shake up that top 4. He's going to want to pad that 73.50 first run score.
Yes. That's a buttery landing. The tail connects first, and then you just ride out of it.
Frontside double cork 1260. There's 1 and 2 coming around blind. Puts down the landing gear. Do you see how much his board flexed on that wall?
Big flex.
And there is backside 900 tail.
Did he complete that grab? I couldn't tell. It looked like he...
I think he let go of it a little bit early.
Heel heavy there.
I'm sure the judges are talking about it right now.
Well, he's sitting on a 73.50, and you pointed it out, T-Bird. He's in the 4th and final transfer position, but that is not a good look.
Oh, I hope he's okay. Luckily, world-class medical staff here at Aspen. They're going to tend to him, make sure he's good. His score comes in 78.75, so he does bump it up by a few points.
Yep, picks himself up another almost 5 points. So we'll see if that helps his cause and if he can go again tomorrow if he does make the top 4. So now we're down to our final 2 competitors. Ryan Walkendorfer will be the penultimate rider, and then it'll be 18-year-old Campbell Melville Ives of New Zealand having the final say.
All right, so Ryan Walkendorfer going switch back 7. Into the double Michael Chuck.
Clean.
14 feet. 4 inches out into the front side, double cork 1080. And the cab, double cork 1080. I knew as soon as he took off, I was like, I don't know if he's got it right there.
Just too high up on the lip, and he just makes contact and rides it out. So Walkendorfer, who had such a great start coming out of that heat where he threw down an 80 on his very first run, that was in heat number 3, just can't make it happen here in the LCQ.
And there you see it right there. He is tucked, ready for impact, and he just catches the nose of his board on the top of the wall.
Good catch. Good catch by you, bad catch by him. That's going to be a throwaway, so he's going to have to hold on to, well, he does improve just slightly. 22.7, Ryan, well done. Maybe the smartest man in the half pipe, and that takes us to our final competitor here today on day number 1 of the Snow League. It will be 18-year-old Campbell Melville Ives who will have the final say. Now, here's the situation. If he wants to win the LCQ, he needs better than an 84.50. If he wants to qualify for tomorrow's Madness in the quarterfinal knockout round, he needs better than a 78.75.
And how about this experience for Campbell Melville Ives? Last rider to drop. He's in 7th place, wants to get into that top 4. Can he do it? Frontside double cork 12. Into the cab, double cork 1080, and he sits it down, and that will not do it.
And you saw it, T-Bird, as he was coming down. He opened up kind of awkwardly, a little late, but man, he put on a great show. As we said, he had Ayumu Hirano on the ropes as he was leading after his 2nd run until Ayumu Hirano did Ayumu Hirano kind of things and took him out and bumped him down into that position where he finished. Oh, unfortunate for Campbell Melville Ives.
Yeah, I'd like to see what went wrong there for him. I mean, no blame on Campbell Melville Ives. I mean, that wall is pretty chunked out. It's in rough shape. It needs the fine-tuning from the world-renowned Frank Wells.
So here it is. Shigeno Yamada, they are in, as is American Chase Blackwell. He is moving on to the quarterfinals, and Lee Chae-yoon, for the time being, is in, but we just watched him be helped off by medics, so we'll find out if he can go tomorrow. If not, there's a chance that they will bump someone in. So just take a look at this graphic and get your brackets ready, because tomorrow it's going to be craziness. Look at the quarterfinals.
Ayumu Hirano versus Chae-yoon Lee. Alessandro Barbieri versus Chase Blackwell. That is going to be a heater.
Look at quarterfinals 3 and 4. That is Japan on Japan crime. And I'll tell you what,
5 Japanese riders.
5 Japanese riders out of the Elite 8. Yeah. Who runs the world?
Right now in halfpipe snowboarding, it is the country of Japan. Holy cow.
All right, let's set it down to the corral and Diesel.
We're here with our LCQ winner, Shuichiro. How did you get ready for that 2nd run to come down guns blazing and get the win?
Yeah, I'm happy to put my run for final, but second round before, so scary. My teammate asked today's dinner and went back home, but just thinking for snowboarding and second round. Yeah, so scary, but now is so happy. Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. Well, T-Bird, we have we have completed the first day of the inaugural running of Snow League here in Aspen. Your final thoughts?
History was made today. I mean, the country of Japan absolutely dominated, but incredible riding throughout. I'm glad the weather held up. That pipe's going to be nice and clean for tomorrow, and I already cannot wait to see what it produces.
So make sure you join us tomorrow back here at Buttermilk Mountain in Aspen, Colorado. The pipe will be buffed out. It'll be ready to go, and the very best will compete. For Nyoko, Tina, Connor, Chris, T-Bird, and Jack, I'm Todd Harris saying so long from now from beautiful Aspen.